So, if you saw Don Lemon the other day, he was live in Minneapolis covering what's going on there. He was talking to people on the street, their opinions of ICE, why they're protesting, and he got a shout out by an activist group to go to St. Paul to City's Church because they wanted him there. They wanted him here um, to record it because they didn't know if anyone would see it. I said, okay, I'll check it out. They didn't tell him what it was until it happened. So these people went into the church during the Sunday service and basically demanded to see David Easterwood. David Easterwood has been outed as the acting field officer, basically the man in charge on the ground in St. Paul for ICE. And they were going after him because if he's a pastor of that church, he's basically not a Christian. And before you all say that, I know what Jesus said, and it wasn't this. Let's drag that elderly man out of his house at 10 degrees, even though he's a naturalized citizen, to prove he's a citizen. I'm pretty sure Jesus would not have done that. I'm pretty sure Jesus would be condemning ICE himself, or being picked up by ICE. As someone said, I think Mike said it, they're nothing but Pharisees. Look up your Bible if you don't know what we're talking about. So he just covered it. And he asked questions of parishioners. He let them make their statement, the protesters. He talked to a pastor who's a MAGA pastor. He didn't explain David Easterwood. He didn't explain his stance on ICE. They're there to worship Jesus. Yeah, if you're worshiping Jesus, you wouldn't have one of your pastors as head of ICE, ICE field officer. But that's my opinion. Okay. Now, the Department of Justice, who refuses to investigate Jonathan Ross' execution of Renee Good, who is now investigating the dead woman and her wife for unlawful activities, is about to file charges against Don Lemon because they say he brought the protesters there and violated the civil rights of the church members there under the KKK Act. Oh my fucking God. God forgive me. Pam Bondi, the far right, is looking for anything at this point to change the narrative. And a black gay reporter, which Don Lemon is, really good, who's no longer with CNN, who left CNN because they basically didn't want to hear his shit, and has become bigger than he was on CNN, and is great to listen to. He doesn't take prisoners, is going after him because they need to show that the big black man, the gay black man, violated those white parishioners' rights. They had a right to protest. The doors weren't closed, and it's sacred to all of us. But I'm going to say this right up. ICE has gone to churches and dragged people out. They violated the sanctuary of churches already. In fact, the DOJ has already said churches don't have any sanctuary status. So to go after Don Lemon for basically letting those, it's ridiculous because he had nothing to do with the protesters, and the protesters are just there to ask questions. But this is what the DOJ is. But just a reminder to Pam Bondi, Nixon didn't go to jail. His AG did. Just to remind you, Pam,